I never thought I'd tell this story. Not because I'm ashamed, but because I still don't fully understand what it turned into. Some moments feel too alive to put into words, too charged, too delicate. But this one won't stop replaying in my mind, no matter how much I try to forget. It started with a box. Just an ordinary brown cardboard box sitting on my porch that summer evening, nothing more than a delivery, or at least, that's what I thought. The air was warm, the sun low enough to paint everything in gold. And then there was him, Ethan. He stood there, crouched beside the box, wearing those worn-in boots and that simple white t-shirt that somehow made everything about him seem effortless. His hair caught the last bit of sunlight, and that easy grin, the one that always lingered a second too long, appeared when he saw me in the doorway. "You gonna just watch me work," he teased, "or you gonna help?" I crossed my arms, leaning against the frame, trying to look indifferent even though my pulse had already picked up. "Since you're already down there," I said, letting my voice dip just enough to make him pause, "you might as well bring it in for me." He raised a brow, that same half-smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. He didn't say a word, just picked up the box and followed me inside. As he passed, his shoulder brushed mine. It was light, barely there, but something about the casualness of it made the air shift. The silence between us changed, turned thicker somehow, almost aware of itself. "Just put it over there," I said, nodding toward the living room. He set it down gently, like it was fragile. His movements were always careful, steady, deliberate, like he didn't want to disturb the air around him. "Water?" I asked, needing something to do, something normal. "Sure," he said softly. As I reached into the fridge, I could feel his eyes on me. I wasn't imagining it, I could feel it. The hem of my sundress fluttered just a little with the hum of the air vent, brushing against my skin. When I turned back, he was leaning against the counter, one hand flat on the edge, watching. I handed him the glass, and when our fingers touched, it was just a second, one heartbeat, but it felt longer. He drank, then placed the glass down carefully. "Nice place," he said quietly. "Thanks," I murmured, still half-turned toward him. "You in a rush today?" He shook his head. "Not unless I need to be." I smiled. "Good." He didn't move away. Neither did I. My arm brushed his when I reached for another glass, and this time, he didn't shift at all. His pinky grazed mine, tiny, almost unnoticeable. But that single brush sent a wave through me I hadn't expected. "You always hang around this long?" I asked, trying to sound casual. He tilted his head. "Only when I'm welcome." I swallowed. "You haven't overstayed yet." Something passed between us then, something quiet, wordless, but real. He lifted his hand slowly, brushed his thumb over mine, and for a second, I forgot how to breathe. It wasn't rushed or eager. Just certain. He looked down at my hand in his, then back up at me, his eyes steady. He didn't speak, didn't have to. The air around us spoke loud enough. He let go, but not completely. His other hand rested lightly near my waist, hovering. Not touching, but close enough that I could feel the heat of it. "Would you mind closing the curtains?" I asked softly. He hesitated for only a moment before walking toward the window. I could hear his footsteps against the hardwood, the quiet rasp of fabric as he pulled the curtains closed. The world outside faded away, leaving only the two of us in the warm half-light. When he turned back, I was already standing closer than before. I didn't even remember moving, but I must have. My fingers brushed the necklace at my throat, nerves catching up to me all at once. He took one step forward. And I didn't move back. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The air seemed to hum between us, filled with all the things we'd never said out loud. Then, slowly, our eyes met and stayed there. When our lips finally met, it wasn't planned. It wasn't hurried. It was quiet and sure, like something that had been waiting for the right moment to exist. His hand found my shoulder, steady and warm, while mine slipped up to his chest. The soft cotton of his shirt, the faint beat beneath it all felt unreal, too intimate to belong to something that started so simply. He didn't pull me in closer. He didn't need to. The stillness said more than movement ever could. When we finally broke apart, our foreheads rested together, and I could hear the rhythm of both our breaths, uneven but synced. He looked at me again, and I gave the smallest nod. That was all he needed. He helped me onto the counter, slowly, gently. The motion wasn't rushed or clumsy. It felt like we were moving through something fragile, something that could break if either of us said the wrong word. My knees brushed his sides. His hand stayed at my waist, a soft, unmoving promise. Our second kiss was deeper, not hungry, but real, heavy with everything we hadn't said. When we finally stopped, the silence didn't feel awkward. It felt full. Like the moment itself was enough. He stepped back, searching my face, maybe to see if I'd changed my mind. I hadn't. We walked into the living room together and sat side by side on the couch. Neither of us spoke. The glow from the curtains painted him in gold, and the way his eyes looked at me, steady, unreadable, almost protective, made my heart trip all over again. I reached for his hand. He met me halfway. Our fingers intertwined, and for a long moment, we just sat there, breathing the same air, letting the quiet hold what words couldn't. A small, surprised sound escaped me, something between a sigh and a confession. He turned his head, studying me, and the look in his eyes said everything. He didn't need me to explain. We didn't plan what came next. We didn't need to. The connection between us wasn't about taking or wanting, it was about seeing. And in that moment, I showed him exactly what he'd wanted to watch all along, me, unguarded, unashamed, and not holding back. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. And in that golden quiet, as the evening deepened and the world outside disappeared, I realized something I'd never said out loud. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is let someone truly see you. Because once they do, you can't take it back.